coming to the event?
Go between the fees in for the cheapest one there, and then it's $228, $245.
You do the same. If you want, stop out back and see if they got anything cooking yet.
So,
So are you regulating these now? They are. One of everything? I can do that. There's a door right there.
And food will probably start being served, I would say, quarter after 11, 11:30, somewhere in that range. Until then, make yourselves at home, and thanks for being here. Crowds like this for funerals, so this must be one of those kind of occasions. As soon as we get everybody seated up front here, we'll get going. State Representative Ron Magg.
Thank you. And thank all of you for coming for, Stehlin's 100th anniversary. I don't represent this area, but John did call me and said, hey, can you help us out and get us a proclamation or some recognition from the governor? So I did that. It's over here. But why he called me is, and I just met the 5th generation. This kind of gives you an idea how old I might be, because I've known every generation of the Stehlins. Well, other than John had started a place, I didn't know his father. And, it's really been a pleasure. One of the first times I came here, many of you probably know Eddie Moore. I walked in and I wanted to buy a side of beef. I mean, my family bought beef down here before. And I was living in Forest Park at the time. And Eddie brought me back into the room, and he got all these sides of beef hanging up here. And he said, well, pick out the one that you want because you know beef. And I'm sitting there saying, well, I'm in trouble now. So I had to think of something. I said, well, Eddie, Daddy always told me that the only way you can tell a good side of beef is when it walks in. And he said, that's right, this is the one you want. And then they had a half barrel of beer back there on the floor.
Yeah.
And then a little... they really didn't have that. And then, I had the opportunity to play poker right where you're sitting.
Yeah.
And I think on a couple of occasions in the house next door. And John reminded me earlier when I came in that, and again, most of you probably know Eddie Moore because everybody knew Eddie Moore. They were playing 7-card stud. He's got 4 aces, and nobody's calling him. So he won the ante. But again, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to know these folks. And I live in Lebanon, so other than bringing some beef down on occasion to have them slaughter them for me, I have to make this trek to get sausage and liver pudding, and a lot of other good things that they have here. So again, it's my honor. Thank you for inviting me. The governor says he's sorry he couldn't make it today. Thank you.
I want to thank you for having me today. This is absolutely wonderful. I just don't know what life is like without Stehlins. You know, I wish I had some good stories like Ron, who is actually older than Stehlins. I cannot remember a time not having Stehlins. I mean, our family has gotten sausage here and sauerkraut over the years. Just absolutely wonderful. But I think it speaks more to this company that they've stayed in Coleraine for this time. We've been around for 100 years. You simply do not see that anymore. Absolutely wonderful. But one thing I will say is that I'm just starving to death at this point. I smell the good food out there, and I will keep it brief. But again, thank you for having me, and I hope you have another 100 years.
We'll have Senator Bill Seitz.
Thank you. I must say that the comment John made was we don't have crowds like this except for funerals, and it is a great crowd. But we do have crowds like this up in Columbus. The difference is most of the time the crowds up there like this in Columbus have pitchforks and they come get us. But what we're trying to do up there is to recognize folks like this. Small business is the engine that drives the Ohio economy. Small businesses that have stood the test of time, as this one has, through 5 generations, are exactly the kind of businesses we need more of in Ohio. And it's exactly the kind of businesses that we should be working every day to make sure that the regulatory environment doesn't throttle their enterprise and their entrepreneurship and their ingenuity. So one of the things that Governor Kasich has proposed, he's proposed some things I don't like, but one of the things he's proposed that I do like is a new tax program where for a small business like this, you get a 50% tax deduction on the first $750,000 of income. And I think if we're able to get that passed, it would help enterprises like Stehlin Foods serve the great people of Coleraine and all the way up to Lebanon and many points beyond for many, many years to come. So I brought a proclamation from the Ohio Senate. I wish you all the best for your next 100 years and hopefully many more years after that. And with that, let's eat. Thank you.
Department of Agriculture, Dr. Serena Bresback.
Thank you, and it wouldn't be a good day unless I brought in a proclamation as well. So one more to add from Director Daniels, I'm here on his behalf, to represent and the whole breadth of agriculture that says congratulations. You are the front door to the consumers. You are that partner with farmers, and that's what we try to be as the Department of Agriculture, who are here as a regulatory partner with small business to make sure that we get those wonderful products, in this case, the meat products from the farm to the consumer. And that's what we want to be every day, and hopefully we continue to be for the next 100 years. Congratulations.
Coleraine Township? Business Associate.
Again, Don Hewlett, Coleraine Township Business Association, happy to be here. You know, this is exciting for us because for those of us in the CTBA, you know, the Stehlin family's been a great friend and supporter. Every year we do a breakfast where we cook for the police and fire, and John and his team are always stepping up to the plate to provide the meat for these guys. They give back, they're passionate about business and the community, and so it's a great honor for us to recognize them in spite of 100 years of service in Coleraine Township.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this with all the veterans, all the military people. I'm going to try to make it clear that the military people and the way the Tuskegee have served their families, their children, and their husbands, brothers and fathers. The Tuskegee and the military salute the Stehlin organization. And we want to thank this organization for allowing our families to get the best of protein. We have no problem when it comes to walking away from this place, knowing we had the best for our children, the best for our seniors, and we consistent with getting the best in the way of protein coming from Stehlin. And I was able to verify that as an inspector with all the laboratory tests I was making. This place has been an awesome benefit to the consuming public. The consuming public really appreciate your being here. Thank you so much.
I just want to say that Les was one of our tougher inspectors, but he was fair. I mean, anytime something came up, you could have an honest discussion with that man and things would get ironed out. We really appreciate it. We also have Mary Burdett from the Korean Historical Society.
All right. I am the president of Korean Historical Society, and I am here to represent the history of making history doing business for 100 years, as they said, in Korean Township. It is a wonderful occasion for a historical society to be able to recognize business for 100 years, and pretty much they're in the same spot. So this is from the Historical Society. And also, as a member of the Mount Healthy chapter, Isaac Walton League, the beginning Stehlins, and all the way up to the present, have been very supportive of the community organizations and very supportive of the Mount Healthy chapter, even though we are here in Colerain Township. But over the years, not just 5 years, 10 years, but many, many years. So we want to recognize them from the Isaac Walton League Mount Healthy chapter. So thank you very much.
Anybody else that we are missing? Or is there anyone else who would like to say anything? Because this is the day. The mic is open.
Can't tell.
I should know you did.
But you know, even though you retired, you still have to speak. Gentlemen, for those of you who may not know, my name is Joe Wolterman, and the Wolterman family and the Stehlin family have known one another for at least 90 years. Way back, well, my dad used to work here, and Butch would fire him, and the next day Eleanor would hire him back. So, and I remember, I guess my dad used to drink a few beers with Butch, and the next thing I know, my brother Ed and I would be in the back pulling the weeds out of the pool, just to make sure that things flowed correctly. But it's hard to believe that 100 years have gone by, especially when I remember having a beer with Butch and a couple shots, and him telling the story of how he started the business and what he wanted to do to make sure it continued. So, Senator Sykes talked about small businesses, but you know, by the third generation, those businesses are gone for many reasons, loss of interest. So I think you have to look at these cousins up here and the grandchildren and give them a hand for carrying on the name of Stehlins and putting the effort that Butch instilled in their parents instilled in them to make a good product and be involved in the community. So congratulations. You know, I can't not say this. Denny and I went all through grade school and high school together. I was in his wedding, he was in my wedding. So Stehlins have been a big part of the Wolterman family and shared many memories, and we'll drink about that sometime.
But congratulations, everybody.
Here's Mr. Larry Stone from Rumpke.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I am the safety director for Rumpke, Larry Stone. I've been here in the community a long time as well. And I can tell you that I can't believe Joe's having a hard time remembering those 100 years because you were there when it started, right?
Always in spirit.
Interesting thing, Joe and I have been involved in a whole lot of community service programs, and there's some icons, there's some staples in Colerain Township that you know you can always go to. It's been exciting to me because the Rumpke family has always given me the endorsement and the ability to do things in our community for the betterment of this community. And it seemed like every time we did something, there's some staples that we went to. We always got support from the police and the fire department and the trustees of Colerain Township, but when we needed food, we knew where to come to. They always stepped up, they always donated product, they always were supportive of the things that we did to enhance this community. That, in fact, is the fabric of any community when the businesses relate to the emergency services and they do things for the good and welfare of the community. For that, I certainly applaud the Stehlin family. Thank you very much.
There's two other people I think here today that deserve a little recognition. One is Matt Fenner. Would you raise your hand? He is our supervisor in the state of Ohio. We do have a retired, I guess, partially retired farmer back there, Earl Beeler and his wife Lily, who supplied us with big Sitting here also we got Butch Sumner. Many years. How you doing, Lou? And then we, everybody knows the story that we helped get our start from the Espel. We got Lisa Espel. Thank you. And one did not forget the family. The wife, the children. You all know that they made a sacrifice for us. Family. And I'll let the others introduce their family. Also, I want to say my sister Judy, sister Nancy, and brother Kenny that used to work here. He's going to retire, he can still come back.
That's what I keep telling him.
Give me a few more years.
Gotta be a little break. Thank you.
All right, I have my wife, just stand up, Peggy. My daughter Tracy, my son Eric, Eric's family, and my wife Mary. My son-in-law Stan, he's back here somewhere, back in the barn. And that's a quick story. I met my wife out here. Her dad always stopped up. He'd always shop at her every Friday night. So that's where I met her. And my daughter, my sister-in-law, was here also.
My family members are here. My sister Mary Alice. Debbie's back here by the door, my wife. Two of my kids are here, Brian, my son, and Karen, my daughter.
Don't forget your aunts and uncles.
I've got a long list. This is my wife, Barb. His wife, Heather, and the 3 kids. I have 3 grandkids, 3 of my. This is my daughter, Jenny. I have 2 granddaughters. And Greg couldn't make it today. I think he's out cutting grass. He's got and so Ray and Melissa couldn't be here. I'm seeing some people back in the back we got to recognize. Our two of our Corrigan Township trustees, Jeff Ritter and Dennis Peters. I see Chief Smith. I see a lot of people. I see Kevin Garvey from the UFCW is here. I see Eddie Dreyer from Skyhaven Farms back there. I see Susie. I see Mr. Hart from Hart Gersbach. And Tom Hart was telling me a good story a couple weeks ago. He said, John, he says, do you believe your business is 100 years old? He says, back there, he's Louis' son. But anyway, I want to recognize my aunts and uncles too. We've got my Aunt Alma and Aunt Georgianne from Indiana. We've got cousins from Indiana, Ann and Rob, and I'm probably missing some more. Brother-in-law Cliff, I think Denny mentioned him before, but I'll mention him again anyway. But we also want to mention the guys that are working for us right now. Without these guys, we would have been out of business a while ago too. We've had Ronnie Seeger with us for 34 years. I saw the article in the paper over the weekend. He gave the story on how he was hired out here. I thought it was a pretty good story. I didn't even know some of it. And then, of course, Paul Yeager's been with us for 19 years. Paul King has been with us for 17. Steve Blank has been with us for 11. And we've got our Australian man, Bill Dorrell. He's been with us for 3 years already. Our newest member is Travis Kohler. He's been with us for about 6 months, so he's a real rookie. I didn't realize this, but I think Mark has already been with us for the last 6 years. So that's quite we also have 3 part-timers at the moment. Dave LeBreton, he's out on the grill. He helps us out a lot. I mean, you just really have to call him, he's here. We've got a couple young guys by the name of Kyle Beckerman and Brandon Neese. And occasionally we have a gentleman named Ernie Fox. I don't think Ernie could make it today. But you know, while I got the mic, you're going to have to just bear with me. Because, oh yeah, Jimmy Reeder. Forgot about Jimmy Reeder. He's a part-timer with us too. And I don't know, is Jim and Mary Matson here by chance? I guess not, maybe not yet. But they're also a part of the Espel family, and without the Espel family, we wouldn't be in business. So, but anyway, again, we're just so happy that everybody turned out today. This is fantastic. And above all, we got to thank God because He's our man. You know, without God, there's nothing. Thanks to people that have come before us. Of course, our grandmother, grandpa, Butch and Eleanor Stehlin. We also have to thank Irvin and Emma Stehlin. That's Kenny and Ronnie and Dick and Nancy and Wally and Nancy and Judy's mom and dad. There was my mom and dad, Harold and Rosie. There was our Uncle Vern and Aunt Dorothy. They didn't have any kids, but they were a big part of the business for a lot of years. We also have to mention Eddie Moore. You can't have a function here without mentioning Eddie Moore. He was with us right out of World War II, and he was with us for at least 50 years. Beyond that, because after he retired, he still worked part-time for us. I hope Stell's here sometime today. That's his wife. And we want to thank Frankie Summerhouse. He was Butch's nephew, and we also had several other Summerhouses working for us over the years. It was Doc Summerhouse, and Alvin Summerhouse, and I wouldn't doubt a few other ones of Alvin's brothers were probably here at some point in time. Of course, we mentioned Louis Summerhouse. He did all kind of running around for us after he retired. All you had to do was pick up the phone and Louis would be here. That was really appreciated that. You were a heck of a guy. Really appreciate that. We got to mention Hap Woolenweber and all the Woolenweber family. There was Uncle Nick, who had his own store, own business over in Mount Healthy. That's our grandmother's brother. Both Hap and Nick were her brothers. Hap worked for us the last few years before he passed away. And boy, Hap had some stories. You wouldn't believe some of the stories he had. We got to mention Clem Frerick. He was with us for a lot of years. And boy, he was one of those real characters. He could carry on a conversation with the female side that would just make you roll laughing. It was a lot of fun working with Clem. I remember my mom used to always say to Clem, one of these days you're going to go home with a cleaver right through your head, and your wife Florence is going to say, one of those women finally got you. Finally got you. There was a couple other gentlemen that worked for us. There was Dick Meyer, Tommy Meyer. I think I mentioned Doc Snyder. We got to remember Irene Wellington. She was with us for a lot of years. She did an awful lot of things for us over the years. She passed away a couple years ago at the age of 97, I think, somewhere in there. But she was a very big part of our business. I want to mention Rita Kramer. She was also a big part of our business for a lot of years. So there's just so many people to be thankful for in all these years. And again, we appreciate everybody that came out today. This is one heck of an occasion. The food is ready. The food is ready. So again, thanks for coming. Appreciate everybody. Have a good time.
You took the wrong confession. You think you're being excellent on the house floor.